Um, uh, Everything. Just the city, the team. Obviously the players on the team, and just just I wanted to continue playing baseball. I've been to Winnipeg I played there for a year and about a month now, and it's some of the most fun I've ever had playing in my life. And nothing's changed. I'm still trying to, make it to the major leagues just like everyone else. And just the experiences I've had in Winnipeg the past year and a quarter, just it made a pretty easy choice that I had another year on my contract, and a lot of people, they kind of come to that decision whether they want to retire or not. But it was an easy choice for me. I got a message from Rick saying that he wanted to pick up the option on my second year, and asked if I wanted to come back, and it was kind of a no-brainer. I think I was working. I started working at UPS this off season, so I think I was probably out on the truck doing deliveries, and then yeah, I saw the text from Rick, and basically, once the off season starts, you kind of, baseball kind of goes on the back burner. But once I got that text, you kind of start thinking about the next year, and kind of got me excited for the next season. Interesting question. I was, I want to say I was probably a sophomore or junior in high school when I really started messing with that. When I was younger, I think I was throwing fastball, breaking ball, and yeah, once high school rolled around, I started working on the changeup, and it became my best pitch pretty quick. Once the confidence built up and started using it in games, it became very effective, and it's kind of shaped the way I am as a pitcher today. Um, I think just getting comfortable. I went on the disabled list in the beginning of the year last year, and when that happens, it kind of sets you back. It almost, uh, if you talk to other pitchers, they'll tell you that when you take a little time off throwing, it almost feels like an entire off season. Like if you miss 2 weeks, it feels like an off season. Once you're back out there, it feels like you're starting from scratch again. And I think that was part. I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I think that was just part of it for getting off the disabled list and getting back into it and getting the feel for all my pitches. And then once the second part of the year rolled around, started to figure some things out, and kind of get in a groove, and you kind of just build off that. And I think that was partly due to it. Um, Pretty surreal. Obviously you go from college straight to professional baseball, and there's not much time between it, so it's kind of, you just change lifestyles real quick. And it was cool because, yeah, I went straight once I signed with the Blue Jays. I basically went straight to Vancouver, and was immediately on a great team, and we ended up winning that year. And then the next year went back, and I had a bigger role with the team, was a starter that year, and just happened to win again against the same team. And then yeah, it was very strange to get picked up by the Diamondbacks, go back to the same league, then end up beating Vancouver, the team I was on the 2 years prior. So I don't know, just really weird. It was awesome. Like, it was really cool, but just very strange. It's definitely a cool story that I'll be able to tell, for years on. Uh, wow, yeah, that was amazing. As kids, you grow up watching it. It's been televised for years now. So when I was, a little youngster, I was watching the League World Series with my friends all the time. And it's kind of one of those things that you almost you almost just think that, like, oh, I'd never be able to play there. We'll never make it there. What are the chances of that? And then once I was 12 years old, it was back in 2002. We just had a good team, won a lot of games, and ended up making it all the way there. Then, got to live out a childhood dream, playing there, play on ESPN, be able to meet some kids from other countries at a young age, and it was a very cool experience, and luckily for us, we have video of it all, so it's something that we can kind of relive whenever. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, we have DVDs of each of the games, and then funny enough, we actually had a documentary done by PBS on our team that year, and they were just looking for teams that might have a chance to go to the World Series, and for whatever reason, they picked us. So we actually have like day by day stuff, like a documentary in the hotel, in the dorms, at practice with us. Um, it's a little embarrassing, so it's something I don't typically show too many people unless I'm pretty close with them. But yeah, so no, we definitely have plenty of ways to relive those memories. Okay, so I don't remember much about Washington just because we moved out of there when I was about 4 years old. So the only things I do remember real well are just I remember snow. Honestly, it was the only time in my life that I lived in an area where it snowed. So in California, we live in the Central Coast, and we've never once had snow, at least not that I remember. And so kind of thinking back to Seattle, that's just kind of the first thing that goes into my mind is like just the grass being covered in snow, being cold. It was. I think I've only been back one or two times. We played a couple games in Everett, Washington, which was it's right near Seattle, but I honestly just can't recall too much besides some pictures that my parents have. But as far as California, it's been cool. We grew up on the coast, so we were pretty close to the beach. Um, the weather's nice. Like I was saying, it's end of January right now, and it's like 72 and sunny outside right now. It's weird. Yeah, no, it's been cool. It's been cool growing up over here. That's a great question. I'm not sure if I could. I say I could now, but I'm sure it changes a little bit once you step out in that weather. Like I know, for example, Brendan Lafferty has moved over there, and he's a California kid too. So I think if he could do it, maybe I could do it. I'm not sure. I freak out when it's in the 30s here or 40s, so I'm not sure if it was negative 30, if I'd be able to handle that. I don't know. It might be something I have to experience and just check out. Oh yeah. Man, Ken Griffey Jr. I to this day still my favorite baseball player. I grew up, obviously, like I said, I grew up in Seattle, so I idolized him along with most other kids, and it just so happened that I was, living in the city that he was drafted by the Mariners. So, I have all his baseball cards, the video games that he came out with back in the '90s. I've been playing baseball my whole life, and to this day, there hasn't been a more polarizing athlete to me. And someone that I've looked up to. So it's kind of cool to see his career go full circle, going from being a young all star to now in the Hall of Fame. It's pretty crazy. Really cool to see though. Um, I don't think I don't think there's anyone on that team, at least last year, that could beat me. That's probably a pretty bold statement since I'm a pitcher and not one of the more athletic guys. But oh, I'd love to. I'll play anyone. There might be some size advantages if I were to play Reggie or something like that. But I think my shooting skills would be enough to overcome some of my strength deficiencies and size deficiencies when it comes to some of these outfielders or some of these bigger athletic players. But I'm confident. I'd like to think I could win against anyone. Yeah. So right when the season ended, obviously we rested the arms for a while, and yeah, I had moved down to San Luis Obispo where I'm living now, and then got the job with UPS. So I don't know. I was working some pretty hectic days. We were working like 13, 14-hour days during the holidays just because, it's mail delivery. It's pretty hectic in that time. So, but it started to calm down. I actually just started throwing with a buddy and, getting back in the weight room. Even though the season's months away, the preparation takes a while. So yeah, it's definitely begun. And, even though it's, 3, 4 months away, I already have next season on my mind and getting ready now. Off the top of my mind, just getting back. It's completely different lifestyles you live when you're in season and out of season. I'm just excited to get back, and it's I, it'll be a new group of guys, which will be cool. It'll be cool to meet all the new guys you're going to spend the season with, and get back to with the coaches and just the people in the city, my host family. I'm super excited to see the Wards. I know they're excited for the next season. They've been keeping in touch, and I think just I don't know, the general excitement of getting it all going again is what I'm looking forward to. Yeah. Wow. Those are two of my best friends. They were on the team when I first showed up 2 years ago, and they're great guys. I don't know. I'd probably say they're the two closest friends that I've had since playing on the Goldeyes. So it's sad that they retired, but they're at that point in their lives. I know Matt's finishing up school, and then Nick has a child back at home. He's starting a family, so obviously they have bigger things in life that they have to worry about right now. But we had some great memories. Man, yeah, I don't know. It's just been awesome. They even though we've only known each other, I guess technically, we've known each other for a little, 2 years now, and I consider them lifelong friends. And I'm sure, we've been keeping in touch all off season, and you know, with their ties to the Goldeyes, I'm sure they'll be keeping up with the team next year, and I'm sure they'll have 1,000 questions for me and whoever else on the team, asking what's going on. So, that's been one of the cool things is just getting to meet some of these players, and those two specifically, just because I've kept in touch with them, and even though they live on the other side of the country, I wouldn't be surprised if within the next year or two that we find a way to all get together and hang out, one or two more times. It'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, well, we had that whole fantasy football league going, so we had a big group text, which made things easy. But yeah, I mean, I've definitely talked to some of the guys, talked to Casey a little bit. Uh, yeah, I mean, with phones nowadays, it's pretty easy. It's actually it's pretty tough to lose touch. You could just shoot a text to someone whenever, and it almost kind of just kick back off where you were. So yeah, I mean, there's so many good guys on the team last year. You make so many friends that it's fun. It's definitely fun to keep in touch over the off season. Hopefully, just to put on a good show. You know, as a team, we struggled a little bit last year, so we're kind of hoping this year to come in, turn it around, and get back in the playoffs. And I'm planning on being a big part of that. I hoping to come and succeed, do well for the fans, do well for the team, and just do well for the city. I think it's going to be a fun and a really good year for us.